We putting work, turning nothing into something. They feelings hurt, we turning nothing into something. Give a fuck if they don't like me, cause all this bread I count excites me. Turning nothing to something, nothing into something. Turning nothing into something.
Boy, what up? What's going on, everybody? Pardon me, got a little distracted there. I got this Blue Jays game on as they just went up 4-0. But we ain't here to talk about that. We're not here to talk about that. We're here to have some fun. And welcome to Blunt Thoughts Live episode, what is this, 51. Holy cow. And we're going to get started with the little special edition of Blunt Thoughts Live. We're gonna welcome somebody who, surprised to me, when I started getting this together this weekend, I probably forgot we had this conversation, but we're going to take it to the hood. And we're going to speak to somebody who's not only a super fan, but is a super fan that comes from the heights, just like myself. So we're going to talk about his roots. We're going to talk about how he became a Met fan and all that good stuff. And like I said, we probably talked about it, but it just brought to my attention this weekend. And we practically grew up right around the corner from each other. Now, truth be told, I'm a little older, so we probably didn't cross paths too much, but he did cross paths with some of my cousins, although he doesn't really remember too much. He does remember a couple of them, boy, whatever. But it was just fun to find that out, and we're going to have some fun, but we're gonna get to him, man. But let's welcome the man, the guy that runs Queens Baseball Spaces and all that good stuff, my guy, Rube, a.k.a. the Pope. Dime a ver, manito, tú estás pasado, loco. Dime a ver, ¿qué es lo que?
Hector was really good. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Like you heard me say, man, it was just interesting to find out you're right from the heights, bro. You're right from the heights, right around the corner. I'm not gonna say exactly where. I'll leave that up to you. I've talked about where I'm from and stuff like that. And you know what I said, I told everybody, man, listen, I just talk nonsense, right? So I don't really do all the graphics and stuff like that. Some of them I do, but when I sent my cousin the stuff, what I needed to do for tonight, he was like, yo, but I know that dude. I was like, say word. He was like, yeah, man. He went to Incarnation, Hayes. I was like, oh, boy, here we go. Here we go. Because, you know, I wasn't part of that clan. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, man. So you from the Heights, bro. And I'm sure we spoke about it, right?
From right there in Audubon, man. 174th Street all my life. Well, most of my life into my 20s. I moved a little more uptown before did a brief moved back to the Heights for a little bit before I moved to Jersey. So I've been in Jersey for now 8 years. But yeah, you know, the Heights is always where my heart's gonna be. And a little bit, you know, about the Mets fandom. So like my family, you know, before I call it the conversion of the '90s to the Yankees, we were always Met fans. You know, at least most of us. Some of us, you know, converted unfortunately to the Bronx side with when he's the '90s. But I always remember as a kid going to Shea Stadium. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
Like, yeah. So like that's what I remember. Me, my cousins, and a lot of my family. We would go to Yankee Stadium when it was like free. It was like the other way around. You know what I'm saying? Now, like, you know what I'm saying? It's funny how in the 2000s or late 90s it kind of switched before, you know, the Mets became good again. But it was actually the other way around. We were mostly Met fans until I call it the conversion of the 90s when the Yankees started winning, and then it kind of flipped a little bit. But I always stayed with my orange and blue, though.
Nah, that's what's up. Shout out to my guy Edward Peña, a.k.a. Intellectual, who I ran into yesterday in the Heights. We were both, well, he was getting gas. I was trying to put air in my tire thinking, okay, I need air. But I had a blown out flat tire. I had to rush my ass back to Jerome Avenue and try to get me a new tire and all that good stuff. But that was fun. But shout out to my guy. Well, it's interesting, bro. So you actually went to Shea Stadium a lot, you said, as a kid and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Not me, bro. I went to probably more Yankee Stadium than Shea Stadium, but always a Met fan. But I just didn't have it like that. And most of my family were Yankee fans, you know what I'm saying? Our Little League used to get free tickets. We used to walk as a Little League to the stadium.
Yeah.
Tú me entiendes? All through Edgecombe, you already know.
Edgecombe, yeah, right
Edgecombe, across the bridge, boom, boom. So we went to a lot of Yankee games. My uncles, we used to go to games or whatever. And every now and then, we would find ourselves at a Met game. But maybe a handful of them. I always hated it, like, damn. And then as I got older, I wasn't someone that was into the subway or anything like that. So it's not like I was jumping on the subway to go to Shea Stadium and stuff. You know
That
what I'm
7 train,
saying?
my brother. Woo, as a
Yeah,
teenager,
man.
oh my god,
I didn't like the subway to begin with, and to go all the way downtown and then to have to go across, you know what I'm saying, on the 7 line. And I was like, nah, I'm good. And then once I started driving, I would go to the games. But then it was about finding someone to go with for me. You know what I'm saying? Again, not many Mets fans, right?
Word.
I had a couple of my cousins. Then we started going to the games. Maybe a friend or two here or there, but mostly all Yankee fans. And I wasn't someone that would go by myself until now. When I finally started going, now I prefer to go by myself. Don't tell nobody. Straight up. I prefer to go by myself and let's meet over there. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just meet there. Everybody go their own way. I don't have to worry about anybody wanting to leave.
Word.
You know, like, you know what I'm saying? But whatever. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. But,
4-zip, by
yeah.
the way, Hector. We got to give updates on the World Series. It's 4-zip now, by the way.
Yes, 4-zip. As who was it that hit a Barger hit a home run? I think it
Yeah, I
was.
think
Is that his
so.
name? Berger.
It was a
Hit
bomb. I didn't see who hit it, but it was a bomb.
Yeah,
For sure.
two-run bomb to right field. 4-zip, top four. Toronto leads. Yeah, Savage in the first 2 innings had like 4 or 5 strikeouts. I'm
Yeah,
not sure what
man.
has gone on since then, but he was pretty much dominating them dudes. So
On his 6th start, that could have been, you know what I'm saying?
right.
Yeah. Oh, the Mets.
Yeah, we'll get into that in just a second. Let me ask you, since we're giving updates and stuff, if anybody, I mean, rooting, right? But like, who you rooting for, if anybody on this?
It's funny because I called before the season started, the postseason started. I was big on the Mariners, and it was basically anybody who was facing Detroit, and we'll get to that troll later. Why I was rooting for any team that was facing Detroit because I wanted to win, but I was rooting for the Mariners for trolling purposes only because there's a pitcher I'm interested in Detroit, so they did end up beating Detroit. But with now that the troll is gone and Scoop was available, and now we have all these rumors. By the way, Queens Baseball was talking about that shit weeks ago, but I am actually torn with this series because I remember as a kid, a lot of my family who were Met fans rooting for the Blue Jays because, hey, you know, Mets didn't make the World Series for like 5-6 years at that point. But then I also, you know, have like sort of like a kind of like a soft heart, mind you, by the way, you know, the Mets haven't won in almost 40 plus years, or going on 39 years. And it's like, when you see a team like the Mariners that have never been there before, it's like, damn. So I honestly, the best team, either of those two. And let's see what's going to happen against the Dodgers, which I know we're going to have that conversation too.
The new evil empire.
The real evil empire, man. They didn't, but can't knock the hustle, man. So yeah, so right now I'm torn, man, with these two teams. I just wanted to go Game 7, and then baseball wins. To be honest.
Yeah, listen, I'm not someone who has a second, third team. I mean, for a while I did. I was a Mets fan. The Heights, whoever Manny played for. You know what I'm saying? I grew up knowing Manny. And then whoever played the Yankees, bro. Those are my teams. So I don't really care, but I gotta say, when I'm not rooting for anybody, I sit down and wherever it takes me, right? But in this instance, I don't know. I'm a Vladdy guy, man. I want to see Vladdy. You know what I mean?
You know what's funny? I have a quick Manny story. I've said this in the space a couple of times, but Manny, not his current wife, his first wife is actually my third cousin. So by the way, always met you know, either my cousin or the wife. Never met Manny when they were married. So you know, I was a kid at the time when it happened. But yeah. So short story. So yeah, there's a little bit of a family trend there. Not with Manny himself, but
Are you talking about his first baby mom?
So his birth baby mom. Yeah, but they were married though. Yeah, she's still in Florida now. The mom, you know, who I had more of a relationship with. So right, when they were still married, I would always ask her questions.
Okay, so that means you related to my guy. If you related to her, to El Barón, and the dude we used to call El Caballo. That was the first dude.
Yeah, maybe him. See, when you give me names, a little bit better, but I still
El Caballo. That was the first dude that was like this, and then came back like this, and I was like, oh.
Well, so Manny's first wife is like 10 years older than me, so a little bit older than my brother. So so that is a different what's it? Generation for me, not generation because it's only a couple years, but like I never hung out with them or anything like that.
Damn, that's my age, Rube.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, bro, Manny's older than you though. Manny's older. No, Manny's
yeah, by like 2 years, 3
by 2
years.
years, yeah. But still,
like
though,
2-3 years, bro. Not that much. Yeah, I mean, especially back then, it was like, you know what I'm saying? Like when I say I played Little League, but I played in the same Little League as Manny. You know what I'm saying? He was at a higher level. He was.
Yeah.
I don't know how, because my cousin is 6 months older than me. Pops, you know my cousin Pops, his older brother.
Yeah.
Is 6 months older than me, and he played what was Junior Pony at the time, and he was teammates with Manny, and I was at the lower.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because Pops is a little bit. You said Pops is a little bit older than you, right? Your cousin?
No. Pops is younger than me.
Yeah, Pops is younger than you, right.
Yeah, Pops is younger than his brother. His brother,
right. I forgot to say that's
his
the thing.
brother and I are his brother and I are the same age.
Yeah.
But he's 6 months older than me, his brother.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So he got to play teammates with Manny. I played more pickup and stuff like that. With Manny, like, you know, and the softball, and then we used to play like, you know, fast pitch and stuff.
That's what people gotta understand. Like the love that we have for these Dominican players is like they're literally one of us. Like legit. Like, you know what I'm saying, Manny.
No.
Listen, right, and went to George Washington High School, bro. So
right. No, but for Manny, for me, it was different because I knew the guy. Yeah. Like, yo, like what's up? Like he comes to the family parties and blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying?
Like days, man. Those were like the days, man. Like
right. Nah. It was,
that was around your way, right? Like. Paligo's right around your way, right? 170?
Yeah, we from 170 in Audubon. Paligo's between 170 and 169 in Amsterdam.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's funny we haven't crossed paths before, man. In the Heights, we're living 3.5 blocks away from each other, or most of our lives anyway. Insane.
But again, you were younger at that time, you know. I was out there, trying to do my own thing. Wouldn't even come to the block as much or anything like that. You already know what it is. And shout out to everybody chiming in about the Heights. Jeffrey talking about, you know, he used to go more to Yankee Stadium as a kid too. Everybody talking about Connet tickets and tickets from here. I already mentioned my guy Intellectual. I forget who else. Man, shout out to everybody, man. Gotta love the Heights. What did I want to ask you next? Well, let's get into this, man. This whole Queens baseball thing. What is Queens baseball, man? Where did that come from?
So Queens baseball, I mean, I've said it several many times. So shout out to Kev from NYYU. Like he, this was more of a it was like a joke, a troll that my guy Keith sent to me, because at the time I wasn't even watching them live, you know. And again,
for the people that don't know, NYYU, what's that?
Yeah, that's Kevin's Kevin Petey, and I think that's they do like lives and stuff like that, just like you do, and they follow.
These are Yankee fans, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, the Yankee fans.
I don't really know them too much myself. You know what I'm saying? I know Kev though.
Kev. I'm saying, so I never meet either at the time. So he would send me like clips, and there was one point that this was last year's team, sometime around early May or early April, like right when the season started, and the Yankees, like you know they were known for the defense, at least not last year. This year they were a lot better. And Kevin was trying to say a troll, and he said that's not Yankee baseball, that's Queens baseball. And so Keith actually did like a whole echo Queens baseball. So we just ran with that shit. I was shouting him out on videos, calling Kevin out on when I was at Citi Field, and then it just became this thing like hashtag Queens baseball. So at the time I was still hosting spaces, you know what I'm saying, with the guys, and so mostly with the guys, and we just like make sure that it just jumped from there, man. Like, and my whole point, like Queens baseball, before I used to call it Mets Twitter. Mets Twitter is still obviously a big thing, but I used to call my spaces hashtag Mets Twitter. I wanted to make sure like we got identified by something, and I thought that why not do it by a troll, by a Yankee fan? So you know what I'm saying. And then shout out to him because he really like birthed this, but we kind of like ran with it. And my point of Queens baseball, and why I'm called the Pope. And again, shout out to Keith for that nickname.
Well, that was gonna be the next question.
So it's really a troll, because at the time, I wanted to like, and I still do in my heart of heart. I want to bring Met fans together. You know what I'm saying? I want to bring you together. Yeah. How many times I hit you up, Hector? Come on, jump on the space and shit like that. you know what I'm saying, different communities that don't really have a voice, you know what I'm saying, and want to come up to these spaces and, you know, and talk bullshit. So I noticed that, especially because of this was like the high of 2022, you know, when the spaces really got popped off, and the lows of 2023, more the off season of 2022, like the off season that going to 2023, and it was like a big gap, and it was like you kind of wanted to find your voice because you have now so much like to talk about. You know, first of all, that's 2 years after Cohen bought the team. We just came out of a team, a year that we won 101 games, and I felt like Mets Twitter was trying to find their voice. You know what I'm saying? So I got connected with Edge for the first couple of spaces. As you know what I'm saying. I was really close with my guy Elliot. You know what I'm saying? He used to do the PNWO, the Puerto Rican Dominican World Order. You know, he used to push that with
I never really knew what that meant, and I asked a couple of times, but I don't know the way my brain works. It's just things that I forget. I used to
yeah.
So
he
the hell
did
is this
spaces.
PWO? Shout out to my guy Elliot. I missed that guy.
Yeah, man. Rest in peace,
Shout out
man.
to my
Rest in
guy
peace.
Elliot.
So he would do spaces with Josh and with Rick, and then I joined, and his like kind of like crew, and then he told me like, hey man, you should just start hosting spaces, man. You have a good voice and stuff like that. So kind of like started pushing when Elliot kind of like stopped doing the spaces as frequently because he was still doing a lot of spaces at the time. And then Mets Twitter turned into Queens Baseball. Elliot was still around, and obviously before his passing. So I always remember like what Elliot kind of like tried to do, like is put Met fans together. So you know what I'm saying, and I kind of like took that to the next level. Hopefully, you know what I'm saying. I know not everybody feels that way when they go to Queens Baseball, but that's always the
Well, we're gonna get to that.
that's always like that's the goal anyway to bring to and also like positivity too. You know what I'm saying? And I know it's tough to be a positive, when you're a Mets fan, and trust me, you're gonna think I'm a hypocrite after when I start talking about Stearns. You know what I'm saying? When we talk about positivity, but that's another thing too, though. Like I noticed that a lot of Mets fans are always on the negative side, so so we try to talk a little bit about everything, though. So.
Right. Like I said, I told you this before, right? I got a couple of things that I kind of want to get to, whatever, but you may take me somewhere, and we'll go all over the place.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
We
Which
have
is fine, definitely fine.
But you've hit on things that I wanted to touch on, so it's great. And the first thing is well, not the first. I don't even know where to go first. Do I go the whole Queens baseball thing? Do I go the Pope?
Go where you think is
they match with me, right? But like even the whole, like, let's be honest here. Right? It's been a back and forth, a little bit of a contentious, or I don't even want to call it, relationship between myself and Mets fans and Queens baseball and the crew that I felt like I was a part of, and now I don't feel like I'm a part of, and sometimes I do, and maybe with some guys and maybe not some guys, and at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck, right? Because I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. It's blunt thoughts, and that's what sometimes I feel like people don't understand, right? So like even the whole spaces, I did spaces, Elliot did spaces, these guys did spaces. You mentioned Edge. I haven't heard from Edge in a long time. You talk to Edge all the time, right? Blunt thoughts, right? Where's my support? But guys don't fuck with Heck because Heck doesn't fall in a certain line, right? Heck doesn't push a certain narrative. And I'm not saying that people do, right? But this is how I look at it, right? So the whole Queens baseball thing, I'm like, okay, Queens baseball. And I knew why it came out. I just want the people to know, right? Because not everybody knows. Some people may know, some people may not. I knew why it came about. It was because of Kev, and it was a joke. And I was like, oh, that's a good way to turn the troll right back on him. And it's great. Like you said, Take was supposed to be a troll of us, and now we're gonna troll you back, and it's become a movement. It's become a thing, and it's a great thing. And shout out to my guy, Master Flip. I just saw him pop in there, right? I know he rolls with you heavy on the Queens baseball.
Yeah.
Guys have even did the tailgates and all that good stuff, the spaces. And then the Pope, and I'm like, wait a minute, the Pope. The Pope is supposed to be a man of peace.
Yes.
The Pope is supposed to bring people together. I'm like, I don't see Rube in Queens
baseball. He does, but sometimes he has to baptize too, though. That's the problem.
He has to baptized.
thing.
I'm
So,
like, I don't see Rube and Queens Baseball doing that. I know people that hit me, like, they don't feel comfortable going there. People that are blocked from going in there. And I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I don't do that. And I get it. I don't, but see, here's the difference. I'm not with the, we got to be positive. And these got to, no. I'm positive if I need to be. I would just keep it real. That's how I look at it, right? I just keep it real. Then we throw the whole Lindor thing in there, and it was like, oh, you hate Lindor. I don't hate Lindor. I think he needs to be better. Do I hate Juan Soto now? I think he could have been better. I'm not impressed by back of the baseball card nonsense when I watch a game every day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
So no, I'll say this because you said a lot of things there. So just to generalize everything, and this is not to you or folks that might feel.
and you said it yourself. Some people don't feel welcome in Queens baseball or comfortable going into spaces.
Folks that might not feel comfortable coming to spaces in general or to our spaces, right? Because it's more than one member of Queens baseball. Anybody, honestly, that is a speaker or is a listener is part of the community to me. Like
same way I feel about Blunt Thoughts.
Yeah,
right?
So it's like I know you feel like that too. So it's like this is not like I don't do cliques and stuff like that. I have some folks that I am in a chat with. Like that's not really a clique. That's just folks that I've been cool with, that I've met in person. I've been to my house. That's a little bit different than like, what I'm saying, than just having a Queens baseball like area where I'm just like, you know what I'm saying? So it's not, or like a little group. That's not the way like it is. The Queens baseball is just like everyone type thing. But if folks don't feel like that, it's just probably because they've gone to a back and forth from me. And I think that, or I know that those same people have gone to other places and done the same thing, and they can't do that in my space or in our or in Queens baseball space. And like, yeah, I have blocked people. Like, for example, who's one of the biggest troll that in the Mets community?
Listen, well, you may look as a troll,
Right.
but wait, from within the community or outside the community?
Outside of who's
Because you could be talking about what, JoJo? Or
yeah, so right, so I'm saying, so when you think about one of the biggest troll outside of the Mets community, think about JoJo. So there's been times where the jokes with him and other folks have just gotten to like a little bit disrespectful, and I don't really do that stuff. Like imagine you having a guest, right? Imagine you having a guest here, myself, and I'm gonna come and say something that's out of pocket, right? And look, Hector, what if I don't like what you say, right? Heck, like what am I gonna do? I'm gonna drive to the Heights and go talk to you about it. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is the internet, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is like it's lame. You know what I'm saying? I met a lot of the people that speak every day on these spaces. I know you met a lot of folks that interact with you every day in Citi Field. That's different. And those are the people that come to the spaces all the time. But the folks that don't meet you, that don't show your face, that are hiding under an Abbey usually, you know what I'm saying? They don't show themselves, are the ones that are the loudest for some reason. You know what I'm saying? So and look, and I haven't really blocked that many people. I've really blocked like a handful of folks. But sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do because you know it, right? Because you're kind of you're doing this more, you know what I'm saying, now, and I'm proud that you're doing this more for content. You know what I'm saying? For me, it was never about content. It was about conversations, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like
I feel the same way.
Yeah.
Rube, that's been another big thing. Yeah. That's been another big thing that I said I don't consider myself a content creator. That was a problem. That's become a problem
you are now,
for people.
Like you can't say you're not.
I guess.
So. Yeah.
Okay, I'm a content creator. I just consider myself someone that's just having fun, bro. Like,
and
I come here to have fun. Right? So, I'm not here to try to push any narratives.
Right.
I'm not here to try to educate anybody. I'm here to have conversation, bro. And I've told you this privately, right?
Yeah.
And people think that this clickbait is engagement farming or anything like that. Sometimes I may think of something, and I myself will be like, yo, that's fucking crazy, heck. Yeah. But you know what? Let's have a conversation. Let Rube tell me I'm crazy. But maybe Jeffrey tells me I'm right. Maybe Master Flip says, yo, I kind of see your point. I don't necessarily, you know what I'm saying? That's the conversation. And of course, I recognize because of the way that I speak sometimes, because of the way I am, I get animated, I get excited. Everybody can handle it. So the same way that some people may not feel comfortable in the Queens baseball space, some people don't feel comfortable in the Blunt Thought space. They feel like it's combative. They feel like it's argumentative or so. And that's why lately I've tried to make it a little bit different, right? And I do my spaces different than most people. I don't let a lot of people speak at the same time. I don't put a lot of codes unless I really trust them. First of all, because I don't block anyone. I don't give a damn who you are. You yourself hit me up privately, right, about a certain situation. You were like, yo, you should block this person. And my bad, I probably shouldn't say that, but you tried to give me some
No,
advice.
it's okay. Yeah,
You tried to give me some advice, and you was like, yo, try to clear your thing, whatever. And I was like, yo,
yeah,
Rube,
yeah,
I don't care. Because you
yeah.
know what I do? I see it, I laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time, I just laugh. Sometimes it might take me off. Sometimes, so I'll react and I'll, whatever,
But
because I'm
let,
an emotional person and I wear it on my sleeves. You know what
let's
I'm
go
saying?
back to that though. Like, right, what was my thing, right? Like, you know, what I'm saying biggest thing about being the Pope is bringing Met fans together. But what I learned the last 2-3 years is that a lot of Met fans are assholes. You know what I'm saying? And
That's
they're
fair.
gonna try to make your life miserable because, again, this is going back to Queens baseball and maybe the fact that 1 or 2 or 3 folks feel uncomfortable coming into Queens baseball or speaking sometimes, because sometimes we even shout out the listeners like, "Yo, come on, yeah, come up and speak." Sometimes we
Right.
want more women to speak in these
Right.
spaces. You know, what I'm
Me
saying things
too.
like that nature. We try to target like a demographic like, "Yo, come up, man. Let's just chat. Let's talk baseball." I always say this about
Plus, I'm
that.
tired of hearing dudes' voices all the time.
Well,
Straight
that
up.
too, but but I always say this: like, I'm not asking you how to fan. I'm asking you to fan. Root for your team, type shit. Like, come over here, right? Let's go up and let's have a baseball conversation.
You realize that sometimes it doesn't come across like that, though, right? Sometimes
Well,
it does come across a little bit like fan policing, trying
yeah.
to.
So
And,
that's
and again, I'm
and
just
that's
talking
funny
about
though,
in
because
general. In general.
I swear, like one of the things I probably should have taken more credit for is that fan police shit. Because I used to do that. I used to actually hit people with the hashtag fan police, or I used to even put a gif of like some with police coming and shit like that. So it's funny that gets thrown to me. I've never heard that shit before, like with Queens baseball, but if people feel like that, it's just I don't think that they're had the chance to come and speak, or maybe they felt the same way I felt when it comes to people change when it comes to baseball takes. So let's say the Lindor situation, right? You mentioned it, right? I forgot why was a Lindor situation with you, but let's say we don't agree. The time that you felt that he was doing bad, some of us felt like he was doing good enough, but that is a take, and somehow our takes had a difference for some reason, and that's where I feel like a lot of happens a lot in especially in the Mets
Right,
community.
but the thing and what I don't understand is it's okay to have a different opinion. Now sometimes, like, are we watching the same thing here? You know what I'm saying? And I don't even think it was more about expected numbers. Like even the whole 30-30 season, that was
You
really a
missed it 30,
third.
30, 30, 30.
Right, exactly. But people weren't even. I was one of the first people saying, "Yo, it was really 30-30-30." But I'm
Yeah,
not impressed because the team stunk. I don't
yeah,
give a damn about Pete's 47 home run. I don't give a damn about Nimmo's career high because they didn't do it at the right times. They
yeah.
weren't consistent enough. We were having questions about the coach. We're talking about 2023, right?
2023, yeah. Yeah, I was thinking 2023, yeah.
In
Yeah.
2023, right? You know what I'm saying? When he first came here, listen, he struggled.
Mm-hmm.
He struggled. He was saying himself. And what really bothered me at the time was sometimes I would say things and then I'd listen to him in the post game and he's saying the same thing I'm saying. But people are
Yeah.
killing me for saying it. And you
Well,
don't like him.
because the truth is he wasn't really the problem like that. Like he
Right.
was the whole team was the problem. But again, that's just me disagreeing with you. I guess my point is, right, before we get to a rabbit hole about the Lindor situation, because
Yeah, no,
I
we're
don't
not gonna do
remember
that.
I don't remember what the situation was, but I think that no, I know that we're talking to people every day for hours and hours, and you see sometimes, I'm not doing them as frequent lately, but like you see a space open at 1 o'clock and won't close to 7, so it's like 6 straight hours of just
Yeah,
baseball.
that's ridiculous to me. I, I,
So
I tell
that's kind
everybody
of
like
crazy. So I try not
that's
to do those
ridiculous to
anymore,
me.
but that used to be and they're gonna be more frequent now, especially
They
after.
used to be fun. It was fun at first, but obviously we see what's come of that.
So what I'm saying is
It,
that I learned, right? Because most of it's positive, by the way. What I learned is that you're gonna get a couple of bad apples, even in the Mets community, that want to disrupt the fun, for one, and disrupt the conversation. And what I'm learning now is that I feel like everyone has a voice, but someone's voice needs to be louder than the other person. So if someone went 3 minutes, I'm gonna go 4 minutes. If someone went 5 minutes, so if I start trolling, because this is one thing I got trolled by the other day about policing the time that someone speaks, right? Which is weird to me because if you listen to the spaces, man, everyone speaks 3 to 5 minutes. I mean, Jesus, like that, you can't get your taken.
Which honestly is too much sometimes.
It's too much sometimes, right?
Sometimes it's too much. There's people waiting, people leave that want to speak and don't get to speak because someone is going on and on about the same stuff.
Right. So my point is, right, is that I'm into a place where it's just like a lot of those folks, first of all, started their own spaces, which is cool. Everybody does the own thing, and people do things differently. But I think that people bring other space energy to Queen's Baseball space, and I'm going to keep that same way that I'm formatting. I'm going to give you a 2 to 5 to 7 minute little I call it a monologue, like kind of like
like if you're doing a show.
Yeah,
everybody's doing their own little mini show.
Yeah, like just because I have so much that if I haven't spoken to anyone about baseball in days in Twitter, you know what I'm saying? Like that's not 5, 10, 20, 30, 50 people sometimes, 100 people sometimes. Like I just want to get through my thoughts and I want to listen from everybody. You know what I'm saying? So it's different. So it's different. So that's why I actually get the opposite. Like I actually get compliments of how I run the spaces, and I get this and that. And I get clips of other spaces, and I start laughing because, like, yo, where are you sending me this? But I start laughing because it's true. Like, yo, I would have not handled it like that. But that's, I can't police someone else's space, but it's just funny to me. So I think that Queens Baseball is consistent when it comes to the way we do stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, and, it might not be everybody's cup of tea. You know what I'm saying? But that's something like, that they, I think,
I'm gonna be blunt right here. I'm gonna be blunt because I'm just thinking about as you're talking. I don't know why this popped in my head. And again, I think maybe within the community, within the speakers, and they're not gonna like this, and it's gonna make me maybe a little bit more unpopular. There's a lot of hypocrisy sometimes in the Queens Baseball spaces, and maybe not even inside the space by some of the guys. Oh my, by some of the guys. De lo mío, placata! Vladdy just goes deep and it's a 5-0 ball game right now. A lot of times I see guys that are frequenters and they don't. A lot of them don't come into a blunt thought space. Frequenters in the Queens Baseball space. I'm thinking about one person in particular. I don't know why. I'm thinking about this person who will tend to be negative and will say a lot of negative shit, but will jump on somebody else.
Yeah,
for basically doing the same thing, and I'm like, come on.
Yeah, so this is what I say about that. Like, I don't know who that person is, but like, you know what I'm saying? There's people
it doesn't matter. Because it's not just one person, but I'm thinking about one person.
Right, but I guess what I'm trying to say is that,
and it's not like none of like not you, Flip, but you know what I'm saying. Nobody.
So here, let me give you an example, and I'll throw you some names. You, Eddie, sometimes Top when he does his live, 7 other different things I could give you, right? My spaces, Queens Baseball spaces. Sometimes it's hard to honestly commit to 10 different things on X in a weekly basis. So that's the way I see it. So this is just me. I pick my 3, 4 stuff that I'm gonna listen to, just like I pick my 3, 4, 5, 6 podcasts I'm gonna listen to. That's my baseball fix, right? I have other interests, I love fantasy football. I got a trophy there that, you know what I'm saying, I haven't won in a long time, but I don't know why it's even doing it.
Me too. I haven't won in 10 years.
I won some leagues last year, but it wasn't the main league, which is my league, that I've been in fucking 15, 16 years. I haven't won that shit like in 7 years, but not the point. I have other interests. I love basketball. I love football. I love watching football, When the Rangers are good, I watch a little bit of hockey. I love wrestling, which I haven't watched in a month because I'm back into gaming now. So it's just like it's a certain amount of stuff that you could take. But
Rube, I wonder sometimes how people have time.
Just like folks don't probably mess with you and don't mess with me, or mess with you and don't mess with that's just the nature of the game. You know what I'm saying? So
no, for sure. Sometimes I wonder how some have time to do all of what you said. Be in every damn space, watch every damn Mets content creator, and
I got 3 kids, by the way, and a dog.
Like
and a wife.
I don't. But listen. Somebody told me the other day. Somebody I was talking to the other day said, "Yo, not gonna lie, heck. Some people get, they feel a certain way because you don't go into spaces. You only do yours." I'm like, I don't have time. I don't.
Well, you don't go. That's a good question because you don't go to Queens Baseball spaces like that.
Well, bro. Because I don't feel comfortable, Rube. I straight up, not because of you, not because of Flip. right? Especially not because of Flip. Because I had no bad encounter with Flip, and I've met him a couple of times. You know, you and I did have some back and forth privately and on thing. Rube, let's be honest, bro. There was a campaign talk about Hector's a fraud that most of you guys co-signed,
Most of
reposted, all of that stuff. I'm not gonna name names.
Right. So then,
But you
brought it
know,
up though. So
before you even started, before you took over the Queens baseball thing, before you took over the Queens baseball thing,
I was always involved with Queens baseball. That's
you was always involved. But now I see you as the lead. I don't know who was the lead before, whatever.
Right.
Like it was. I don't see Keith involved really like that no more. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what he's involved with. I don't know.
Like comments with like clicks and like agendas.
No. There was a post. We're gonna expose this fraud.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna look for it. I don't have
my
it.
thing
I
is
don't
that
care.
I post that, or anybody who's currently in Queens baseball right now, post that.
I don't really know who's currently Queens baseball. You want to divulge that? Who? I don't really.
So look, it's me.
We know it's a community, but like obviously you have your co-hosts.
Spaces and that are tried to be as speakers, as listeners, and I'll try to get. I hope I don't forget anybody's name, but it's me, it's Flip, it's Randy, it's Jay Fern, who you met many times. He's one of my best friends. He's
right, Jay Fern, who followed me, then unfollowed me. Right, you see what I'm saying?
Okay,
so
well, that's something that you got to go with Jay Fern though. That's the thing.
Nah, because I don't care, bro. Listen, like I said, I don't block nobody. I don't unfollow. Hold on, Rube. I don't block anybody. I don't unfollow anybody. Right? We're not gonna always agree. We can have it back. I don't take it personal, right?
Yeah.
We let it go.
So Hector,
if I realize you unfollow me for whatever reason, I'm gonna immediately unfollow you. I don't ask any questions. I just return you the favor. Let's make you happy. You want to unfollow me? I'll unfollow you back if I realize it. And I think I'm looking. So for whatever reason, I realize he unfollowed me. Boop.
So I'll tell you this. I want to take things too personal because a lot of the folks that I've met, like in person, also follow me and unfollow me. Right. So, like, imagine me, and heck, this is the only advice I could give you, and I'm gonna be real with you. Imagine me having a space, right, and bringing that up. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Nah, but I don't.
Well, you did right now. You did.
But this is not a space.
You asked me who was the members of Queens baseball.
This is blunt thoughts, though. But that's Rube. This is blunt thoughts.
It is blunt thoughts. This is blunt thoughts. I'm being blunt with you. I don't think it's cool because I'm trying to give you the members and you're dissecting who followed and who not followed. That's not.
No. But you asked me why I don't go in Queens baseball, right? Okay. It's a conversation. I said I don't feel comfortable.
But you're going because one of the members unfollowed.
No. That just happened to come about. I don't feel comfortable with the whole Queens baseball community, bro. Really, like overall, I don't.
I know that. I mean,
I don't. You know what I'm saying?
I know that.
Again, I don't want to name names. That's not what we're doing this for. Yeah. But it's blunt thoughts.
Right.
There's people there that don't really mess with me. They don't come in my spaces, right? They don't come in my spaces.
I think
so why should I go in spaces that they're in? If I'm gonna go in there, then they don't speak, or they might leave. You know what I'm saying?
If I would agree to what you just said, then I would never go into anything that you do, though, right? Because you never go to Queens baseball spaces.
I was in there the other day listening for a few. I couldn't speak though.
Because another thing is, you know what I meant, right?
If I'm working, bro, and I get into space, I get fired up. I can't be driving. People coming in and out of my car. And I used to do it before, and I realized like this is not good. I get fired up. I get excited. I get distracted. I want to speak. Yeah. It's not good for my passengers. You know what I'm saying? So that's another reason
I understand that because that's your livelihood. That's different. So.
That's another reason why I stopped going while I'm in the thing. But the reality is, a lot of times I don't feel comfortable. Now lately that's changed, right? Lately that's changed. And I've tried to go in and I want to go in more. Just haven't had time.
Like my point is, Hector, support is both ways. So if you have a thing with
Rube, I can't support something I don't feel supports me though.
Right.
You understand I'm telling you.
I'm here, like literally.
Yeah, but do you really always support me, Rube? You said the other day in one of my spaces, Hector and I really aren't friends. You said that. I was like, oh shit, okay. And not that I consider us friends. Not that I consider us. You said that we're not really like friends. We, you know.
When did I say that we're not friends, my brother?
In my space. I'll go look for it. And one of my spaces that you actually spoke.
You misinterpreted what I was trying to say. Man, like we like say. I think you're misinterpreting what I was trying to say. You know what I'm saying? It's not that we're not friends.
I think you were being honest. I think you were being honest because of what we.
I just think that I said that we're getting to the point where we're becoming friends.
Right.
Meaning that we're not friends yet.
Well, and what I'm telling you, because
So,
of that,
but that
I'm
you're
starting
missing,
to be more open.
That's actually a positive thing, bro. Not a
Yeah,
negative.
and that's why I'm starting to be more open to trying to go to the
Right.
Queens baseball spaces and stuff like that. Bro, you
But
guys
I'm
had a
not. Look,
tailgate. You
I
had a
didn't say.
tailgate, and I came through when
Yeah,
I
no,
didn't really
and you showed
feel like, you know
up,
what I'm saying?
and you showed
But I
up.
still came
But
through.
I guess what I'm trying to say is that I'm not saying this to isolate what you're not doing. I'm just saying in general, support goes both ways for anything. For anything. So as I'm saying, I
Right.
think if you're more open to, and again, you can't jump on everyone's space because I'd be crazy. I can't do that, by the way. I've only
I'm
really
not going
honestly,
to.
I really only, other than yours, like I think it's your space and then maybe one other that sometimes I try to be a listener. Like I just don't have the time, but that's not the point. Um, Support does go both ways. So right, so you asked me for names, right? So these are the guys that always are still part of like the community now, and I'll give you the names. It's Jay Fern, it's Flip, Randy, who's new. Randy's new. Like Randy a couple of months ago joined us because when I met him, I got a good vibe from him. You know what I'm saying? So he's new. Rick, he's been all time there for a minute. You know, Rick. AP's been there for a minute. I know he's not really like on Twitter like that no more, but AP's there for a minute. Tank has been there for a minute. Top has been there for a minute. I'm missing like probably like 5 other guys, but you know what I'm saying. So these are the guys that support. You know what I'm saying, and like not even like support. It's just all they do is give me a like on a space because they can't join all the time, right? Or jump up to be a speaker for a minute or two. They can't be all the time, and I have conversations when other folks are not available because not when you open up a space, you know this shit. Sometimes you get 10, 20 people. Sometimes you get 100.
Yeah,
Like it's
no,
like
listen.
it's one of those. And these are the guys I'm always having a conversation. And trust me when I tell you, I have disagreements with them every day, and we take those to the spaces and we go back and forth. Like you know, what I'm saying, you know, the other one the other day was Blake Snell. I've been a big guy about Blake Snell for a year now, 2 years now actually. And look what he's doing in the playoffs. So you know, what I'm saying we go back and forth on stuff like that. So trust me, we're not always like online, but support does go both ways, and that's for anything. And also, don't let, and this is not just to you, this is just to anybody on Twitter, don't let someone's take, like, tarnish our relationship just because of take or not. You know what I'm saying? That's the biggest thing when it comes to that.
Right, but I think that advice should be given to a lot of those people you mentioned. A
Right,
lot
but
of the
I
people
can't do
in
that because I'm not their
Queens
dad. So,
No,
you know
no,
what I'm
no,
saying?
but no. You can't
Yeah.
make him. You can't make him act a certain way, but you could give him that advice, and they just heard it.
Yeah, of
Right? They
course.
just heard it. The whole support goes both ways. The like of this, like of that.
Mm-hmm.
It goes both ways, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely.
Okay.
5-zip, man, it's crazy. Blue
Yeah,
Jays.
that the Valley Homer. What's up, Lynn? How you doing? Good to see you, Lynn. Lynn's my homie for everybody. Yo, Lynn's my homie. Just so that you know.
Shout out to Len, yo. Always supports both of us. So.
Yes. And Jacob. Jacob says, heck, but there's people that listen to both spaces. I consider myself a member of Queens Baseball. This is my guy, Jacob, that I play catch with at the Queens Baseball tailgate. Of course. But I'm always in your spaces also. Jacob, I appreciate that, bro. That's what it's about. I'm not here to divide. I'm not here to tell anybody go to Queens Baseball, don't go to Queens Baseball, come in the building. Never. I don't do post game spaces because Queens Baseball does post game spaces, even if I don't go in them. Even if sometimes I want to do talk post game. But one, I like to watch the Mets post game, first of all.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
these spaces start immediately after the game.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I'd rather watch.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And
Right?
one of the reasons, like the reason I try to keep,
But let me finish my thoughts.
Yeah,
So
go
I'm
ahead.
not here to try to divide anybody
Right.
or anything like that. Please, if you're a Blunt Thoughts fan, if you never heard of Queens Baseball, you've never been to Queens Baseball space, please go there. I believe in the description I put Rube's tag on X. Go follow my guy Rube. He already mentioned Master Flip and those guys. Go follow them when you find them and support Queens Baseball. I'm not here to divide anybody. All I'm saying for the final time, and we're gonna move on, I haven't always felt that support from a lot of the people you mentioned.
yeah. And
You know what I'm saying?
I'm sure.
Straight bluntos, and a lot of them are in here tonight, not because of me. They're in here because of you. You
Well,
understand
yeah,
what I'm saying?
so-
And that's
yeah,
okay.
Yeah,
That's
and I
okay.
think, you know what it is? I think folks, and this is not a you thing, Hank. I think
And
folks,
this is not even why I did this space. Don't think that's why I invited you here, Rube, or anything like that.
Yeah,
But it's all
well,
part of the whole thing. We're gonna get into the Mets.
Yeah, so, and we're gonna get obviously because I have so much thoughts when it comes to the Mets, and you know, I got a Dodger take, I got I got a Dodger take we got to talk about. I definitely got a David Stearns take we got to talk about, and there's other stuff, and maybe some free.
But
maybe
shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to everybody watching, following, listening, all that good stuff. Share, subscribe. Forget to subscribe. Share it so other people can come and watch, whether it be on X. I don't know if Rube is streaming this himself. I gave him the ability to do it. I don't know if he did it. But yeah, get everybody here. Get everybody in the conversation. Show everybody how much of a dope I am and how great Rube is. Anyways, go ahead.
I should have done that. I don't usually do the lives and stuff like that, and that's something that the guys been talking about for a while. So eventually, I think we're gonna do something. Maybe not on a weekly basis, but
well, if you don't, I got something that I'm trying to cook up. I'm thinking about that you're definitely gonna be a part of, whether you want to be or not.
Yeah. I mean, again,
throughout the season, so we'll talk though. But anyways,
we'll definitely talk about that. But to just the thing again, like I just feel that some folks, and this is not a youth thing, because a lot of people feel like the way you feel like they're being targeted for whatever reason, right? And I just think that we need to get out of our shells when it comes to like this, what we're gonna do with Twitter, right? Because I'm accused of this a lot, and
I wanted that guy, man. My bad. I like Josh Naylor, bro. I like Josh Naylor. I don't give a damn what nobody says. I'm a Josh Naylor fan, bro. That guy's a fucking baller, bro. He plays ball. I'll take him on my team any day. I don't give a damn where he plays. First base.
Rocking my baby.
I don't. Yeah.
Might be a target, by the way,
ever since then, I felt like he should have been a target at the deadline. Everybody, like, where you gonna put him, Heck? I'm gonna put him to hit. Damn it! I don't give a damn. Make him the DH, left-handed DH or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
If we're gonna put him. I mean, look, our defense would have gotten better, but that's a different conversation. That's why I'm so late. Now I just saw the home run now. But
smoked him, bro. My bad.
I'm super late. No wonder you were saying that. I'm like, why is he shaking that for Josh Naylor? He hasn't even. Okay,
because he just smoked him, bro.
Let me just close this show. I'll just fucking listen to you.
Hey, no, I don't want Josh Naylor as a P replacement.
No,
I don't want Josh Naylor as a P replacement. We're gonna get into all that. God damn it. Re-sign P, sign Josh Naylor, sign Kyle Schwarber, bring me Tyreek Skubal, go get Paul Skeens, and fucking ruin the league for real. Dave Roberts think him and the Dodgers gonna ruin the league. We're gonna ruin the damn league anyways. I wish.
Yeah. But like I was saying, so what I do for my career, I'm a people person. I won't tell you exactly what I do, but I'm at least not online. I deal with people a lot, right? So I analyze.
I deal with people too. I wouldn't say I'm a people person, though.
Yeah, but I analyze people. So what I've noticed, right, and I'm not gonna give you names. I'll give you a percentage. More than 50% of folks will not act the same through the keyboard that they will in person. Because the thing is, I've met a lot of the speakers in person, and they've acted. A lot of the folks that speak on a consistent basis have acted the same that they have at Citi Field. But the ones that are very, very, very negative or disrespectful, which only have been like a handful of people, right? You know what I'm saying? I just don't believe that it will be that way if they will meet you in person. So I think that I'm giving you that example because there's a lot of positive to X and there's a lot of negative to X, Twitter. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, you got to pick and choose what you're going to, be important to you. You know what I'm saying? And right now, first, regardless if you want to, agree to this or not, but you have a platform now. It's different, and picking and choosing, like all that stuff is in the past, bro. Wherever that was, you know what I'm saying? Because Queens baseball was bigger before, and it's a little smaller now. We still have an A, but it's a little smaller. A couple of members bounce. That's totally fine, and it's not like a membership, right. But I'm just saying.
But that's how I feel too. Yeah.
Yes, I'm saying the support. So it's not there anymore. That's totally fine. So I'm still cool with them. If I see them, I'll give them a hug. But that's not the point, though. I just think that individuals like that speak every day, and they got to see, is this going to be something that's going to impact their life negative or positive? So I just make sure I grab not the negative and positive. I just grab what is this to me, and it's important for me to speak to baseball in a daily basis, or I'm not doing spaces every day now, but I will be when the off season starts. You see hours of spaces when it comes to that,
right? And
to me, that's important because, Hector, I'm talking to you and I'm learning, and you learning. I hope a little bit for me. You know what I'm saying?
Of course,
I feel like that when I do spaces every day.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And not only for that, and it sucks because the Queens baseball spaces have turned into mostly Mets, and before we had a lot of other fans coming, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not talking about the JoJos. I'm talking about like folks that actually contribute to the spaces. So you know what I'm saying, that part sucks. But you know, we have Stan, who's a Boston fan who roots for the Mets. You know what I'm saying? And
Shout out to Stan.
you learn from other people. You know what I'm saying? But if someone's gonna come up, right, and troll you, or someone's gonna come up, not me, or troll the Mets or troll that, then that's not something that I want to be part of anymore, right? Speaking about trolling, I said this shit in the spaces before. I got humble when it comes to trolling because I was one of the biggest trolls out there. Fuck it, you know, Mets are good. Why not, right? It's not like we won anything, but why not have some fun with it?
I don't really get involved.
Not no more, heck. Not no more. I retired from the trolling shit.
I don't really get involved in that stuff. I have fun sometimes in my WhatsApp chats with my peoples from the block. You know what I'm saying?
From the
shout out
people
to
yeah.
Shout out to the block. Let me stop right here, right, and let me explain to people because I forgot I was going to talk about this. And as we transition now to the Mets conversation.
Yes,
and
please.
We thought we were going to do this for an hour. Oh boy, good luck to us. But we're not going to stay here all night. We're going to try not to.
No, I can't. I wish I could.
But this is what happens on Blunt Thoughts. You can never have a quick conversation because I talk too much. But the reason why I use this bootleg setup that I got here, background, if you don't know, but if you know, if you're from the hood, you know, right? Engine 67 170. If you see it on the bottom right there, I just put it there because that's what's across the street from this building, kind of right off, depending on how you look at it.
Yeah,
but pretty much right across the street. That was
home, man.
That was home.
Yep.
That was home plate for us when we played wiffle ball all the time, right? But the reason why I said I'm gonna use this background because this is what I wanted to have, Rube. I wanted to have an honest, blunt conversation. And you see those stoops right there? Those are the stoops. That's what we call the stoops. And the murito. That's what we call the murito. Vamos por el murito, right? And we used to sit there and all kinds of conversations happened there. They were good, they were bad, they was crying, they was screaming, there was everything. But you know what happened at the end of the day? Everybody shook hands, went home, and we see you tomorrow, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what we're doing right now, bro. Yeah. That you might not have liked some of the things I said. Some other people may not have liked this. Some of the things I said. I know when I'm gonna walk out of here, I don't feel like I've said anything disrespectful. I've just told you exactly how I feel, my honest opinion, and that's what it's about. People think, oh, Blunt Thoughts, this is some pothead. I tell people 1,000 times, yes, I enjoy it. I enjoy it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've done it sometimes here, but out of respect for my nephews, for my family, I don't do it all the time, right? I'm a grown-ass man. I can do whatever the hell I want.
Exactly.
But I don't.
It's not a drug, man.
But it's not what it's about. It's about blunt because I'm blunt with my opinions. Because my uncle used to tell me all the time, muchacho, el diablo, tú le dices la cosa a la gente directamente. Tú tienes que tener cuidado. Tú vas a ofender a la gente. Pero tío, that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just being honest. Yes, but that's the only way I know how to be.
Yeah.
It's the only way I know how to be.
I've been very honest with people too. You know, so there's a bluntness to that too. So.
You know what I'm saying? But listen, I appreciate the conversation, but we're going to try to move on here. And listen, there's no hard feelings with me towards anybody.
Or, yeah.
You know what I mean? Not towards Jay Fern. Again, I was taken aback why he unfollowed me. Maybe it was by mistake. And then maybe he saw me unfollow him, and he was like, you know what? Fuck that jerk. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's just a misunderstanding. I don't know. You know what? When we're done here, I'm gonna follow Jay Fern. How's that? I don't give a damn what he does. I don't
give a damn. Follow everybody in Queens baseball, bro. Everybody.
I do follow. I do. I don't know who in Queens baseball would be following.
Exactly.
Now, there's only one person that I don't follow. Again, I noticed he wasn't following me, which I was really taken aback by that one, and I'm not gonna bring it up.
Please don't.
I was really taken aback by that one, but whatever. Yeah. Now there's some people that I wish wouldn't follow me, but they still do. I'm kidding, man. I'm kidding. I got love for everybody, man. Blunt Thoughts, like you said, Queens baseball. It's everybody, man. Everybody come. I tell everybody come into spaces, come into lives, and the streams here. It's not about me. We all have blunt thoughts. My hope is that everyone feels comfortable coming in my spaces, in my streams, and sharing their blunt opinion. Whether I agree, you agree, or the speaker agrees, doesn't matter. We'll have a conversation about it, and then there's a time to move on, right? Because I'm not here.
I've said this to you before, especially the last 6 months or so. When you're getting more positivity than not, or the percentages now, instead of being 99.9 negative, and it's more like 60-40. When you got guys like Joe and Clark talking at least some positivity, when you got guys like
that ruined us, Rube. We needed him to stay negative, bro. When Joe and Clark came in my space, mad positive. Bro,
I'm hearing
him and Sal. Shout out to my
conversation-
guy Sal Licata, bro. I love my guy Sal. But that fucking week where him and Joe got super positive, I said we're done.
Well, Sal's going
And I
through some
told
stuff
him in the
now.
space.
Sal wants to trade Lindor too, so there's a lot.
Don't
Sal's
say
not
that.
wrong.
Don't say that. He's mad at me for that. Don't
Sal's-
like if I said it.
Sal's-
I love
he's
you,
going
Sal,
through
but you said it, not me.
Sal's losing some
Listen,
fans, man. You know, he's
Sal
a
doesn't
boy,
want to
man,
give
but,
Sal doesn't want to give Otani his props. Sal's crazy, bro. But I love Sal.
but yeah.
Sal's my guy. Shout out to Sal, bro.
So
Sal's
you
a big
wanna-
reason
so-
why this goes on.
So do you want to do the Stearns conversation now, or you want where you gonna go?
Real quick before we get to Stearns, let's not. Your quick thoughts on the 2025 Mets season. What was good? What was bad? What you think made it fall apart? If it was anything in particular, whatever. Just quick.
Well, it's gonna get to the Stearns conversation anyway.
Exactly.
So,
We're gonna lead to that.
2025 pitching. That's really for me.
Right.
That's what it was. Again, without trying to get to the Stearns conversation, because it's gonna get to Stearns regardless. But the decision by ownership and front office to play around with probably the most important aspect of baseball, starting pitching, was foolish. So, and I'm hoping that they learned from it. But pitching is number one. Not good offense, not enough offense. Believe it or not, the 2024 Mets scored 2 more runs than the 2025 Mets, and that's interesting to me. When you add Juan Soto, you bring back Pete, and you're having a Pete year. So that's something that I'm kind of surprised by. So still, even with a month and a half of being injured, because he probably should have been playing for half that time. Oh, another good season by Lindor. Not what he did last year, obviously, with the OPS. But again, I don't know. I've never played professional baseball, and I definitely never played professional baseball with a broken pinky. So I would have probably loved for him to maybe take some time off, but he's not that kind of player. That's one thing that you gotta respect.
Broken pinky toe. You're talking about Lindor, right?
Yeah, Lindor. Yeah. So I know he had an injury, so I know that those numbers weren't where they should have been at the end. But Lindor went good year by Lindor. So if you would have told me that Juan Soto was going to be a 40-40 guy, first of all, I didn't think Juan Soto was going to ever hit 40-something home runs ever again in his career. I thought he was going to be in the mid to late 30s. That's just the kind of guy he is. For him to hit the highest home runs.
Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. Sorry to interrupt. I didn't think he would hit 40 home runs, Rube.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I didn't think he would hit 40 home runs.
So for him to go not just 40, but 40-40, give you the 900 plus OPS, having a season for Pete that probably his second or third best season of his career at year 8, and you tell me that we're going to score 2 less runs, that tells you a lot. So the kids took a back step. You know, you're going to read something there? For some reason, I can't see the comments. I don't know why.
Randy says there's something wrong with my camera. I'm not sure. What are you talking about?
Oh, no, you turned off your camera for a while. No, you have it on now.
Yeah, I was doing
but you purposely
something.
did that, right?
About this. Yes.
You purposely did that, yeah.
I was hoping you didn't react to it like Eddie does sometimes.
No. I kind of knew, bro. How many Zooms I got to go to? You know what I'm saying? So people got
There you go.
Below their nose, they will do something, bro. They got to turn off the camera. But
Randy's a rookie. Randy's a rookie, but a veteran. Randy's used to real TV. People don't come off the TV like that. yeah. He's used to real TV.
Randy's my guy, bro. I don't know. That's Randy. I don't know. That's what he says all the time.
Right. I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? That's my guy, Randy. We have so much fun with Randy. But if you would have told me that Lindor was gonna have similar years last year minus the OPS, Soto 40-40 plus 900 plus OPS. Pete was going to have one of his best years, and we were going to score 2 less runs than last year. I would have called you a liar. All right. So the numbers got better in the second half when it comes to the offense hitting with running scoring. I know that was a big thing for you, right? And they still didn't make the playoffs. So,
bro, I didn't even know that. We scored 2 less runs.
We scored 2 less runs this year than we did last year.
Wow.
With oh my God. So how does that make sense, right? So running the scoring position is one, but then we got better at that. You saw that we got better at that the last 2 months, 2 months and a half. Mm-hmm. Over 300, one of the top 10, 15 teams. Mm-hmm. So why? Pitching. So this year is something that, unfortunately, as a Met fan, we needed to go through because this whole conversation, and I'll get to the David Stearns thing now, about, and I used to call people fools, and maybe
wait, hold on. Before you go to David Stearns, no, finish that because I don't want you to go to David Stearns jersey because I want to say something to what you said.
Yeah, no. The Mets, that's the Mets 2024, 2025 season in a nutshell. Pitching, and the fact that somehow we ended up scoring 2 less runs than last year, and then you have to sprinkle on top. Let's talk about the excuses, the injuries, but also a lot of the kids, right? That not kids anymore, took a step back, and no more than our guy Ronnie. So, and Ronnie will talk a little bit. So yeah. So go ahead.
I blame Stearns and Mendy for that. You saw I even asked Mendy for that when I was lucky. Shout out to Carlos Mendoza, man. My Mets manager. I don't give a damn who don't like it now.
Yeah, well, I mean.
No, but listen, I asked him, like, yo, what you doing with Ronnie, man? What you doing? Oh, it could gain experience. Yeah, I'm like, I disagree, bro.
Yeah.
I disagree.
So, and as you know this already, and this is not to go to a Stearns thing, the decision to bring Ronnie up was a bad idea.
It was a bad idea. It was understood because of why it happened, because of injury. They should have sent his ass back down, right? And everybody thought he was going down.
They'll lose the option.
Yeah, everybody thought he was going down, and then he got hot there. Right at the end, he got a couple of hits, and oh no, he should stay. And they fell into that, and then they never sent him down. I don't know why.
Well, when he got sent down the first time, when he was down there, he should have stayed there, because then you preserve that option. If you bring him up, then that means you have to keep him here. That's why Ronnie was here. That's the only reason, is to preserve his option for 2026. That means that he's more valuable in trades, and that's more valuable for the Mets. Because
wait, what do you?
By preserving his option for 2026, the entire year you could bring him up and down. If you brought him down one more time, you lose that last option. So Ronnie was here.
I don't understand that, because once he was optioned at the beginning of the year, that's his option.
No,
within one option, you could be sent up and down 6 times.
Up and down a certain time, right?
Yeah,
but the
6
problem
times.
is that for some reason, Ronnie, I don't know why, and again, you got to talk to a baseball nerd. If he had a chance, if he had option one more time, he was going to lose his last option, apparently. So that's the only reason that the Mets kept him here for those months.
Well, it's a stupid reason. I don't give a damn. It's a stupid reason. And Mendy's lucky he didn't tell me that in the dugout, because I'd have told him it's a stupid reason.
He's not going to tell you that because that wasn't.
No, I know. Yeah, so, I'm messing around, bro.
But I met Mendy as well. Last year. What I'm saying? I had a conversation with him. Shout out to J Mac. You know what I'm saying? Me and Jay Fern actually met the team because of J Mac. So shout out to you. When the oh my god stuff was going on.
I'm cool with J Mac, but not that cool.
Okay, he's another one. He's another one in your hit list.
No, you're crazy. I love J Mac. I'm saying I'm not cool enough for him to take me to meet the team.
Oh, okay. I was like, damn, another one. I was like, what did J Mac do? I was like, you don't follow you too? No. So,
shout out to J Mac. J Mac's my guy,
I was already a fan of Mendy when I met him in 2024, but then obviously when the team kept doing better and he was getting a lot of the credit for this year,
We're getting into the Mendy conversation.
So this year he took a really step back, and
Yes, he did.
I won't think to a point where I even thought he was going to get fired, and I was okay with it. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's the sad part when you meet somebody you like them, but we got to call a spade a spade. That wasn't his best year. So I always say this in the spaces. I'm hoping to God that this is going to be not just David Stearns' worst year, but Mendy's worst year, because we brought back Mendy. You know what I'm saying? Now, he got a little fire, wherever the team produces, he's going to be just fine. But I'm hoping to God that this is going to be our Pobo's worst year as a professional and Mendy's worst year as a professional, so that we can move forward.
Bro, I kept saying it, Rube. Mendy had a worse sophomore slump than fucking Vientos, bro. And I love Mendy. And it wasn't over like that, and it's not because I met him. Right now, having met him and what he did for me was great, and I'm always going to appreciate that. But I know he knows. He knows blunt thoughts, I'm going to be honest. Not that he's watching this, but shout out to you, Mendy, if you are. Because I still don't know how the hell he knows about me. But listen, it was rough. It was rough to, like, the last weekend, I forget when it was, I did a video like, yo, I think it might have been after the last game of the season, like, I get it.
Yeah.
If he gets fired, I get it. Like, I'm almost fucking done with him.
Yeah. I mean, you asked me my thoughts about 2025 season. I didn't even mention him because we were going to get into the
Yeah. We were. But real quick, before we get into that, though, I just want to say real quick to finish the 2025 season thing and to kind of like go back to the whole Hector Lindor thing And you can almost say it with Soto, right? Look at what you just said earlier. Soto had this great year, the numbers and all that. Bro, to me, like, and Emizi's here. Watch this. Emizi's gonna say that Juan Soto took my girlfriend. Nah, I didn't know Juan Soto. I knew Manny, and not even Manny took my girlfriend. So shut up, Emizi. Nah, Emizi's my guy. I let Emizi get away with murder because he shares my brother's nickname. Anyways, rest in peace to my brother. Shout out to my brother, man. This is my guy right here, man. Always chilling. He probably mad at me because I be having him down there and shit. But he was always with me. He's up here too, but that's personal up there. Anyways,
of course.
And it's leaked out sometimes. Yeah, for those that, where the hell I was gonna, where the hell was I? But
the year.
we can't deny. Like, you watch the games, Rube, and we had this conversation throughout the year, and this is where conflict happens with me sometimes with some people, right?
Yeah.
When someone will come in on my post or my comment and tell me I gotta be more responsible. You're a content creator now. You gotta be more responsible. So I can't criticize Juan Soto. I gotta blow smoke up his ass when he wasn't the guy that I expected him to be at first. When I didn't get the energy that I was expecting to get from him. Like, we all wanted to see the shuffle, but because we're Dominican, but because we're Mets fans, I'm gonna ignore it now. I'm saying, no, it's okay. Now, what the hell's a shuffle, my guy? Where's that guy that said, yo soy el mejor? Flip. Dime Flip. I was going to comment on Flip's post today. He kept posting that shit. Oh, Juan Soto. Yo soy el mejor, mamagüevo. Where's that Juan Soto? Because we didn't get him. We may have gotten the numbers.
Well, so I disagree with you.
And yes, you're right. As the year went on, it got better. To me, the only player, and he doesn't get disrespect, the only player that's exempt from the nonsense this year was Pete Alonso, who was there pretty much all year. And even he had his slump, like he always does, right?
Yeah, and look.
You talk about Lindor and the toe, I get it, and we can't ignore it. We can't ignore it. At the same time, it feels like to me, like, coño, he just flipped the beginning of the year with the middle of the year this year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He got off to the hot start, and then he cooled off in the middle, and it
he cooled off after he got hit.
But yeah. You could blame it on the toe. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, I'm saying so.
I can't completely blame it on the toe if I haven't seen this from him before. But I have. You know what I'm saying? Brandon Nimmo, whom I love, extremely disappointed in Brandon Nimmo. Bro, before they dropped Brandon Nimmo to 3 and 4 and 5 in the lineup when he was a leadoff hitter, I was saying they should do that. In 2023, when we were saying Pete needs protection, and Nimmo's hitting all these fucking home runs out of nowhere, I'm like, you know what? Drop Nimmo. Yeah. I think he could do it. I don't think he'll change his approach. And he did exactly that, bro. That was disappointing to me. Like, I'm not just saying Soto. I'm not just saying Lindor. I criticize all of them. But for some reason, when I criticize Lindor and Soto hits more. But anyways, like, so that's why it's like...
This is the fifth time that you talked about the hitting, but you've not talked about the pitching that one time. And that's literally the reason why we're going to make the playoffs. So someone like, let's say, I don't think
it's solely the reason. I think it's a big reason why we didn't make the playoffs. I don't think it's solely the reason.
I never met you, but I'm listening to you for the first time. I'm going to think you're just hating on Soto, Pete, and Lindor, where the real reason we didn't make it was the pitching, brother. Like, we took a step, like, it wasn't a step back. It was yet last year was 2 decades ago. You know what I'm saying?
Rube. We missed the playoffs by 1 game.
Yeah, we did.
Hold on. We missed the playoffs by a fucking tiebreaker to the Cincinnati motherfucking Reds, bro. Yeah. There is no one reason. A huge reason is the pitching, but there is no one reason.
That's the main reason.
You understand what I'm saying? Maybe if Soto does get a hit early on with runners in scoring position, we're not finding that position. Maybe, and shout out to Lynn, whom I don't really like when she says this a lot, but I kind of agree with her. Maybe that's why I don't like it when she says it, because it kind of bothers me, right? But because I don't take it as maybe as literal as she does. But when Mendy says, she's going to love this, when Mendy says, I'm not chasing wins in April, right? What I've always said, you've heard me say this before, you can't win a fucking division in April and May, but you can sure as hell lose it. Okay, Mendy? So don't give me that nonsense. You understand? So there were many reasons why this team didn't make the playoffs. And yes, the pitching is a primary reason. Yes, the injuries is a primary reason why this team did not make the playoffs. But I'm not going to excuse the other things. And I say this, I can't talk about everything at the same
Yeah.
damn time. We would have got to the pitching, damn it. So if you only watch 2 minutes, that's your bad.
But no. So we could get to the pitching, and we talked about it. I said pitching suck, right? That end of story. But
Yeah.
people would think that you're blaming the hitting more than the pitching, and it was the pitching. The numbers will back that up, my brother. Like, the pitching was the reason,
No.
the
Yes,
main reason why we
was one of the
why we
main
didn't win
reasons.
more games.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, but
It,
okay.
it completely fell apart. But you know what? You want to continue talking about the pitching, or
I wanted to go to David Stearns. So
I just saw
and
the
the
message.
reason I want to bring up David Stearns because
Go
I
ahead.
haven't really had this opinion so strongly because I haven't had a space in a couple of days, and I haven't talked about this. So I want to talk about in blunt thoughts. Like you said, right? You want me to be blunt, right? I have to. So I was on the David Stearns train. Like, you could not say a bad word about this man.
I remember, but I kept telling you guys beforehand, like, yo, can he come here and show us something?
No, you're not.
Oh, Hector, how can you say that?
So this is why I got to shout out my guy Jay Fern, because from day one, me and him will go back and forth. I was like, yo, but what do you this now? I was like, Milwaukee, all these division titles. I know I haven't made the World Series, but just give me if you can give me something that's close to that, where I'm winning divisions and making it to the first or second round. I know they only made it to the National League Championship twice in the last 7 years, and this year is one of them. And this is not all David Stern's team, but come on, you got to give him some credit for some of this team, right? Like I already said it last year, that my joke was always David Stern's current team beat David Stern's old team when he beat the Brewers. Shout out P. Alonso, right? So, but the last 3 weeks, I turned on him. Shout out to Flip because he put a bug in my ear, and it's something that because everybody knows that Frankie Montas wasn't Frankie Montas. To me, he was Frankie Smokes until he earned his name back. Frankie Smokes, hashtag Frankie Smokes, because me and 99.999 of the Mets fan base thought that was a bad hire, right? That was a bad signing, right? Free agency, and I looked it up. It actually happened in December, so it happened pretty early in the free agency. So he was one of the the moves one of the big moves, or his big moves before Clay Holmes, right? Okay, so that was a disaster, right? The way he operates, this is where I've turned on him, and I'm probably 60-40 negative in his side. I'll give him the 40 to see if he could come back and have a better season in year 3. Give me 1 second, Hector, because I gotta let just 1 second. I'll be back in 10 seconds, right?
No, go ahead, do your thing. Because I want to know now if Rube was one of the, and I don't think he was. We're gonna have some fun. But did Rube want to see David Stearns get fired? I don't think so. I don't think he was that upset. But 60-40. 60-40. You know what? I haven't even put a percentage on it myself. So now that he said that, it has me thinking, where am I with David Stearns? But listen, if you're a blunt thoughts follower, or whatever the hell you want to call it, fan or whatever, somebody that views or listens, the only thing I got to say, I was saying it from the get, like, he needs to come here and show me, like, not that I'm gonna ignore. Oh my goodness, and the Blue Jays had another run. Not that I'm gonna ignore what he's done, right? He has a good resume. But now you got to come show me that you can do it here under the New York pressure with money. Just because you've done something with a little bit of money doesn't mean that you could do it now with a lot of money like everybody assumed was going to happen. And that's what I always kept saying. And like Rube said, he was one of the people that he was like, he wouldn't want to hear anything. I was like, he wasn't the only one. I got into this conversation with a lot of people. Man, shout out to my guy Doug. When he, not that, but he was a David Stearns fan or someone who thought like that would be, and I'm not saying that it's been bad. To be fair, I feel like we still need to give him time, right? It's one thing I always say, us as fans, right? We'll say a current situation is horrible, it's horrendous, and we need to change this, and the people here need to go, and we need to bring someone else in here to get things done. Okay. Then when we bring them in, we expect magic. Like they're going to take out a magic wand, like there's some kind of magician, and it's going to go whoop, 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 and everything's going to be fixed. No, we got to give it time. And sometimes, and I'm guilty. I'm saying us, right? I'm just as guilty. sometimes we don't give stuff time to develop, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes we make it uncomfortable for the guys coming in to be able to make moves
Mhm.
and to stick to their plan. Because I always say this about these guys, man. If you believe in what the hell you're doing,
Mhm.
it don't matter what the hell the noise is. It doesn't matter what it looks like. You need to believe and follow through. But you better come through sometime.
Yeah. So
You need to
yeah.
come through
So
eventually, not sometime, eventually, right? So
yeah,
that's how I look
look,
at it.
David Stearns again. I've been saying this in the spaces, and I said it today. I'm hoping that was his worst professional year as an executive ever because you can only come up from here, right? But he needs to stop playing around with the most important position in baseball, starting pitching. He needs to stop playing around with that. That is not a joke. So, again, shout out Flip for mentioning this, putting this bug in my ear, and saying this. It's like you sign Sean Manaea after 2023. You give him a chance, right? You give him an opt out. Okay, cool. See, the thing, you give him an opt out, right? So that if he pitches well, he's going to opt out, which he did, right? You got to get his money. And then you overpay him. And I'm not looking at 75 million or Blake Snell 170, no, sorry, 180 something million, whoever it was, right? I'm looking at AAV. And maybe that's my mistake because I'm looking at 25 for Sean Manaea, which most of us, so let's not be hypocrites. We're happy to bring Sean Manaea back, right? Come on,
Absolutely.
right? Like, come on. Tribal Chief, right? Now
I
he's in
got Show
Tribal
Mania,
Chief.
baby.
Well, shout out to, and maybe he'll have a better season next year. But I'm using Sean Manaea as an example of how not to sign pitchers. Because here you go. First year of that year, because remember, you gave him the opt out, he left. I mean, he opted out, he came back, right? First year he was injured and of the year injured and not performing and blah blah blah. Okay. So now 25 million went to waste. So that would not be as bad, but you already wasted 17 on Frankie Smokes, which we all knew was going to be a bad decision. So let's start doing some math. 42 million. That's 42 million right there. Don't look at it as 75, right? Or 36, because you know Frankie Smokes is going to opt in, or 34. I'm sorry, 34 million. My math is wrong. You know he's going to opt in, and then we're going to get the insurance, and we're going to still pay pay $17 million in taxes. So we'll gain 17 and then lose 17. So I don't know if that's breaking even or for Stearns for a guy like Cohen who doesn't give a shit. Okay, right? And then you look out with Clay Holmes, right? You give him a 3-year, 38 million opt out after 2 years. So you could opt out after 2 years. So we have him for at least one more year at 13 and change, wherever 12 and change. Okay. But Clay Holmes, as good as he is, right? He was our best veteran pitcher, which is sad, right? Is a 4th or 5th starter. So Sean Manaea was our ace last year, but we know that he was going to come down to earth at least a little bit. He's a good 3, maybe 4, though, right? I've been saying this in the offseason for a long time. You can't rely on Kodai Senga. As much as I like Kodai Senga before the 2025 season, this is before. You couldn't rely on Kodai Senga because he's fragile. I went back and said, okay, he wasn't as hurt as I thought he was in Japan. I remember he used to have this back and forth with Josh for like months, and he proved me exactly what it was, that he's fragile. So it's the thing. If you have those fears, which as a Met fan, a fan should not be dictating what an executive does. You should have had those fears too, though. Like, you know what I'm saying? He got hurt last year, right? He played freaking 3, 4, 5 games. You know what I'm saying? So that tells you what? That you should have gone after a horse. Right. Well,
Exactly.
Senga's made out of glass, says Randy. So right. But what Randy's saying, I was worried about before the season even started, especially if you're gonna bring back Bernard, who has his injury stuff too. You know what I'm saying? Not last year. He had a dead arm, at the end. He was injured before. You don't know what you're gonna get from Clay Holmes, right? You got something positive, right? You don't know Frankie, who is an injury-prone player, another one. You signed him. That was the season
No,
right
that's
there.
what I kept saying. Like, I had this argument with Sal, well, not argument, this conversation with Sal, and one of the phone calls I made during the season, and he said to me, "Oh, we had depth." I'm like, "Depth? That depth was
Yeah.
flawed from the
Mhm.
beginning.
Yeah.
It was flawed from the beginning. You couldn't really count on. They all had question marks. You just went through it. Kodai Senga,
Mm-hmm.
is he gonna stay healthy? Obviously, when he's healthy, we know he's phenomenal, but he's never healthy. Sean Mania, who's Sean Mania? And Sean Mania that was, passed around the league a little bit, bullpen, not bullpen, then comes, changes his arm angle, has a catch with some dope in Central Park. No, I'm kidding. And his season turns around. Who's Sean Mania? Question mark, right? We bring in Clay Holmes. We're asking him to go from a reliever to a starter. Question mark. Griffin Canning. Do I need to say anything?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Question mark.
Question mark.
Frankie
Yeah.
Smokes, how you call him, fucking threw
Big
his
question
season
mark.
up in smokes. Question mark.
Yeah.
David Peterson. I was saying David Peterson needs to step up and be an ace, but again, who was
He's gonna
David
step
Peterson?
back, yeah.
Was it really the hip? Was it actually? You know what? I think David Peterson had a pretty good year. I think shout out
For
to
the second half, he took a step back. Let's be real.
shout out to Anthony McCarron, who's gonna join me tomorrow at 9:00.
Shout out to
Look
you,
out
man.
for
Yeah,
that,
that's hard.
everybody. And he told me before the season, when I told Anthony, like, yo, Anthony, I need David Peterson to step up and be an ace. He said, Hector, he possibly can. But have you thought about the innings jump that you're asking him to have? And I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
so I think David Peterson, maybe that had a little bit to do with it. But listen, shout out to Clay Holmes, who made the biggest inning jump of any of these guys
Yeah.
and was able to go through his struggles and finish strong as hell. I'm excited to see what's going to happen with Clay Holmes next season. Now, is he going to be able to come back and sustain that again and maybe make another innings jump? We'll see, but I don't know, man. Listen, we just went through a lot of things about why the pitching is the reason, and then I just gave you some things that
Well,
I
yeah.
think
So
are
Clay
positive,
Holmes,
but
I'm excited for him if he's our sixth starter. Yeah, sure.
exactly. But and that's another thing. That's another thing.
Yeah, like Clay Holmes, fifth, sixth starter, sure. Yeah, sign me up. David Peterson coming back as our third, fourth starter, sure. I don't know what's
yeah,
gonna happen.
I don't know about Clay Holmes 6. I'm a 4 or 5 starter. I think he's good, but he pitched to a 3 ERA, Rube.
And that's the thing, though. If we start operating, if we start playing with those 3, 4, 5, 6,
You know those are our 5 starters though next year, right?
right?
now,
Yeah, but that's the thing,
Senga,
though.
Mania,
That's why
Holmes,
we're gonna have a
Peterson.
conversation. What's gonna happen with Mania? He's gonna be a starter, or he's gonna be bullpen start. Like, what he's gonna do? He's gonna be
Well, I guess it depends on what we do, right?
Right.
And let me say this: I also don't think it's fair sometimes to judge a contract on his first season. It was a bad year for Mania. Let's see how he bounces back. But again, it's
the
still a
thing
question
is,
mark.
so that's why I don't want you to think that was a Sean Mania thing.
No.
With those numbers, right? 25 AAV, you could have done something different if you had the Frankie Smokes thing. And that's my thing. You could have gotten yourself an ace with that money. Look, some of the aces I'm talking about got hurt. We see what happened with Corbin Burns.
How do you feel about that? Exactly. You bring up Corbin Burns, and he says
look,
he don't
he
blame
got
Stearns
hurt,
for not
so,
signing
right? So,
Burns or
but-
Max Fried. Would you have taken Max Fried's contract?
Fuck yeah. Max Fried is making $27 million a year. He's times it by 9, yes, 2 and change. Look at the AAV. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so Snell's making a lot of money. I would still take the Blake Snell contract. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing, and look, that's what you got to. Also,
It's funny. I was looking at my some Blake Snow posts that I did. I didn't want Blake Snow the first time before because I was scared that he wouldn't have the right attitude for here. But I wanted him in 24. So when he went to the Giants, I didn't want him. Yeah. But I wanted him before 25.
Dude,
I wanted him this
the
season.
last 3 years, bro. It's been thing. Look, he got injured this year too. But when he came back, look at the ERA.
But that's another thing, Rube. I was thinking that watching the Dodgers, and I'm like, yo, all those guys, you could say it's money bad, wrongly spent by the Dodgers, but at the same time, it's money well spent, right? But for whatever reason, Rube, this is what I don't understand. Because we try to take the same attitude, I guess, right? Everything's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys are gonna. Mendy kept telling us how everybody's gonna figure it out. Blah 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 blah. But it never happened. The Dodgers went through some rough times. People were like, "Oh my gosh, the Dodgers! There's no way they're gonna." Yeah. They had guys miss time because of injury. Those guys have all come back, man, and have been able to give Blake Snell, Tyler Glasnow. How many starts did Tyler Glasnow make all year? I don't think he made 10 starts.
Nah, he made 15, 20, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. How about Snell?
Snell was about the same thing, yeah. He missed half the season.
You know what I'm saying? But if that's us, now I'm gonna put it on us, the fans. we make it so uncomfortable. We get so loud. Oh my gosh, how come he's not pitching?
Yeah.
That we don't give them the comfort or whatever to maybe do what these guys are doing in LA.
So I guess this is
Maybe
my
it's that
example.
laid back attitude in LA. I don't know.
I heard that Blake Snell.
And I'm someone that don't be like, oh, we got to be positive. But sometimes I do think like, gosh, we also like we don't give things room to breathe, man.
Well, let me answer this for you, like to help.
And I know you got to get out of here soon. Rube.
Yeah, I gotta get out of here. I'm gonna take a couple of things before I get out of here, but yeah, I'll give you 3 to 4 more minutes. So for the person that wrote, oh my God, Max Fried, 8 more years, or whatever, or the folks that don't want Blake Snell, Corbin Burns was a bust, so I can't really talk about Corbin Burns. He was not my top 2, but yeah, I would have gone after him. Why not? And that would have been a mistake, right? So,
but is Corbin Burns a bust? He's having surgery. How long is his deal? What, 7 years?
He's gonna be gone for most of that next year too. So
right. But it's not a 1 or 2 year deal, right? If anything, Frankie Montas is more of a bust because you signed him for this year and he gave us nothing. Corbin Burns could actually come back.
Yeah.
And give them something, you know what I'm saying?
But what I'm trying to
throughout
say
the life of the contract. I'm just saying that like sometimes we judge the contract too early.
Yeah. So if you look at Max Fried, don't worry about 8 years. If you submit Max Fried, and I know we didn't talk to him, so this is like mute point. Max Fried, and you put him in, I don't know, for maybe Manaea, or you put it because I know we're not gonna get so many lefties, or for Frankie Smokes. Do we make the playoff, right? And then let me ask you the same question. If you put the same starts, which was I think 10, 15, 20, I don't know where it was for like I don't have in front of me. He did have a 2.4, 2.5 ERA, right? If you insert that.
Who's that? Blake Snell, you said?
Do you make the playoffs? That's the thing, and I think is yes. So that's all that matters, is making the playoffs, and you see what happens. You know what I'm saying? So that's my thing. And I'll say this because I know before I go, like we didn't have the Dodger conversation. Queens baseball, like my spaces, our spaces that we do, like they've been a lot in the offseason Dodger centric. One of the biggest spaces that I ever did was when Yamamoto went to the Dodgers. And the reason is because we went hours and hours not how they're just going to ruin baseball and this and that, how we wish we could do this, right?
We thought that's what we were going to be. So not the whole East Coast Dodgers, but we thought we were going to be bullies. We were going to throw some money around. So, there was going to be no object. Exactly. And that's why I wonder, is David Stearns the right man for the job? Does he have the cojones? But you know what? To be fair, again, Andrew Friedman had to learn to be where he is now. He wasn't like this at first either.
Yeah. When he was in Tampa, it was different. Obviously, he learned how to be.
Yeah. But even when he got to the Dodgers too, it took a little while before.
Tampa to the Dodgers and Milwaukee to the Mets, right?
Right. So that's what I'm like. Maybe we got to give him time.
So we don't have Andrew Friedman. We have David Stearns, and I think David Stearns. There's something that is a philosophy that he has when it comes to pitching, and it's the wrong philosophy. He needs to start paying these dudes to come here, and they're not going to come here for free, especially because we're the Mets, without doing the Scherzer and without doing the Verlander deals, because those deals did not work out for us. You need to AAV is super important, so that's why I love the Max Fried contract. I love the Snell contract, even though he's in the mid 30s. It's only 6 years. So these guys are going to be pitching to their 36, 37. Like, it's not crazy. So my point is, right, that I thought, honestly, that David Stearns was smarter than this. And he needs to prove the Met fan base.
Some people think he's too smart for his own good. Oh, he thinks he's too smart.
Well, that's the thing. So that's kind of like where we go with the... Well, again, I'm not trying to pick on your guy, Sean Manaea, but Sean Manaea, real cute. You give him a decent contract, but you give him an opt-out. But then you pay him, right? And then let's see, you know what I'm saying? So instead, if you're going to not opt in that second year, then go a different route. You know what I'm saying? Even though, of course, we all got happy when Manaea came back at 25. But that 25 AAV is super duper important.
No, go ahead. My bad.
Yeah, so
I wanted you to see this coming because I want to see what your thoughts on this are.
So Soto not deferred. Okay, so yeah, but we could find other players that want to defer. You know what I'm saying? This is the tough thing about the Dodgers, right? Who are ruining baseball, but the Met fan would do that shit in a heartbeat, right?
Right.
The Dodgers are selling culture to the players.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you defer money right now, and
We're
again,
gonna win.
shout out Ben Verlander who got this completely wrong. Shout out Flip for correcting him. The Mets spend 90% of their revenue on their payroll. The Dodgers spend 60 to 70%. They're the second highest. Those numbers are not accurate because that $450 or $480 million payroll is not really $480 million. We all know that a portion of that is deferred. Now, what does that mean? Some of that deferred money, a portion of that deferred money has to go to a separate bank account. So, yes. But the payroll is not that. So, wherever the revenue is a lot less than that. The Mets are the only ones that are going to the 80s, 90s, or 100. This year, we're going to make more money. Now, this year we made more money in 2025 than 2024. And I'll show you the bracket that I'm talking about. I have a screenshot of it. I'll send it to you in DMs. We're going to make more money this year. So our revenue is going to be higher. How much of that are we going to spend to the payroll now?
That's a good point.
And how much of that is going to be to pitching? Because you did it 2-3 years in a row. You can't do it one more year to fix some of the mistakes out of the last 3 years. So that's my thing.
That's supposed to be the whole point of having someone like Steve Cohen as owner, right?
So that's my thing. So, and look, don't get me wrong. And I'm not one of those guys that do not give David Stearns credit for Soto. All that stuff, I'm not with that. David Stearns was part of the P. Alonso conversation. David Stearns was part of the Juan Soto conversation.
Yeah, the bad part of those conversations. But anyways.
Well, let's agree to disagree, right? David Stearns had to have a conversation for those things to happen eventually. And I know, obviously, the owner was heavily involved. Okay. So, but
Rube, if you were in that position, you would have had to have those conversations. You might have taken a different path. You know what I'm saying?
That hours and hours of negotiation, which Juan Soto's camp and David Stearns himself said that he was part of, tells me that he was part of the conversation.
No, I know he was part of it, obviously.
So it's we're gonna always do this, right? Every year that we get a big player, it's gonna be a Cohen move. Every year that we get a player,
no. I'm with you on that. That's what I'm saying.
Like so that's the narrative.
But
I want to stop that narrative.
We watched the way that this played out, but we know that David Stearns and Pete Alonso is not a David Stearns guy, bro. We know that.
Well, we're gonna find out this year, right?
If David Stearns would have stayed in control of those negotiations, I don't think we would have ever got to where we got.
We're gonna find out because also Pete Alonso said no to a 7-year deal, and now he wish he had that number.
Rightfully so. No, he doesn't. Pete Alonso's gonna win, bro. Why would he wish he had that? He's already played from when that 7-year deal was when.
He played 2 years of those years.
Okay.
So he's
asking for 7 years now, which he's not gonna get. He's ridiculous for that.
So if he gets 5 years, he wins, right?
But if he gets 4 years with the kind of money that people are talking about for 4 years, he wins. I'm looking more about the money too. And yes, he also wanted the years. And I think at the time they said he was more about the years. And I'm glad you repeat because I want to do rapid fire before you go. So let's forget about David Stearns. David Stearns needs to step the hell up. I made a post like a week and a half ago, 2 weeks. David Stearns makes me uncomfortable. I don't give a damn what nobody says. David Stearns makes me uncomfortable. I kind of I don't want to say I agree. I don't like giving 10-year deals to anybody. I hate Juan Soto's 15-year deal. I don't give a damn what anybody says. And I love the player. I just hate those deals. I understand sometimes you have to do them. And with certain players, you need to break from what you like, from your comfort zone, right?
Yep.
I need to see David Stearns, and you need to see David Stearns, and everybody in here needs to see David Stearns get out of his damn comfort zone, bro. You have the ability to do it now. Every little move is not going to hurt you. Frankie Montas, terrible fucking move. In Milwaukee, it may derail you for 2 years. Not in New York. It shouldn't.
Yeah.
Get out of your damn comfort zone and go out there and get us a damn pitching. We need a fucking horse. We need an ace. That's the bottom line. So we all got our eyes on David Stearns.
David Stearns needs to operate like
a big market team. Straight up.
Are you going to waste Lindor's last couple of years when it comes to productivity the way he's doing now? Nemo, P becomes back, and the first couple of years of Soto.
When he comes back.
Wow, the Dodgers are just ransacking anybody.
Well, that's why I said the other day, Rube. That's what I said the other day. I think it was my my morning blunt. I think it was on Friday. It was on that. David Stearns needs to step up and realize, and I should have said this in that video and I didn't. Pitching wins. but
This team wins,
stars win also.
Mm-hmm.
And the Dodgers don't give a damn. There's a player available, they go and get him if it's possible. They figure out how to fit him in. They don't
Yeah.
say, "Oh, well, he doesn't fit here.
But
This guy
they
doesn't
also
fit
pay
there."
them though. That's the thing. They
Yeah,
pay
of
them.
course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The pros or
They
not, they
pay
pay them.
him. They defer money. Whatever. They make it work. I'm not mad at the Dodgers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm mad that we haven't figured that out first.
Yeah.
I'm mad that we haven't figured out the next thing.
Yeah.
We supposed to be all this innovative. We got this billionaire and all this stuff, all this smarts. We got the boy genius, president of baseball operation. Let's go be proactive instead of reactive. Rapid fire before you get out of here, Rube. I want to get your thoughts on a few things. We touched on it. Pete Alonso, yes or no on the comeback?
Oh hell yeah!
We're not gonna get into the weeds about fucking contract and all of that stuff. None of us wants to give
It
him
better
7
be
years.
It better be.
None of us wants to give him 7 years. You want Pete back?
Hell yeah!
Edwin Diaz,
Oh hell yeah! Absolutely.
obviously, and I'll say this about the Edwin Diaz situation. I'm not sweating it at all, bro.
No, me neither.
I'm waiting in the next few days or whenever. I don't even know if it's legal now, but I know as soon as the season ends, there's a 5-day period for guys that opt out you can negotiate whatever the hell it is. I don't know all the details.
Yep.
I expect even before that. I wouldn't be surprised during the World Series if we get an announcement. Edwin Diaz and the New York Mets have agreed to an extension because Edwin Diaz ain't going nowhere. In my opinion, Edwin Diaz will opt out because it's his obligation to opt out, because the union wanted him to opt out, because his agent wanted him to opt out, because he feels like it's the right thing to do. But Edwin Diaz wants to be a New York Met. We saw how fast it happened last time.
They're gonna have 2 years to the deal.
Where are you on some of these trade rumors? Some which I don't know if they were created by Queens Baseball, but I see a lot of Queens Baseball. Well, one in particular, this whole J-Ram thing. I don't know where the hell this has come from.
All right,
I see
so
J-Ram.
there's a
But
difference between. So we like to do in Queens baseball. We like to do fantasy stuff, and J-Ram is one of them. Marte is one of them. So hashtag J-Ram, J-Ram to Queens. Hashtag Marte to Queens.
when you say
Those are all
fantasy, you
fantasy.
mean like dreams, like
Dream, yeah.
dream
So
scenarios.
there's like you remember when LeBron went back to Cleveland, and if you look at the economy there, look great. That's where I want your guy Ronnie to do for downtown Cleveland. I want him to build schools there. I want him to wear that Guardians jersey proud as being one of the
Who?
tips. Your guy Ronnie.
Rodney Mauricio.
Ronnie when he gets traded for J-Ram, but that's just again, this is fantasy talk. But shout out OV who actually
Had that
up,
connection to Cleveland.
because LeBron when he went back, you know what I'm saying. So the point is, we don't only just come up with fantasy stuff. We give you players, and a lot of them is a lot. Like we'll give you we use AI and fucking calculators to fucking give you trade scenarios. So
Yeah, stuff that I don't really.
But J-Ram is always going to be a fantasy. So is Marte. Maybe Marte has a.
Listen, you guys are gonna really love this. I wanted J-Ram when we got Lindor. That's who I really wanted was J-Ram. That's the guy I used to like on Cleveland.
He's still available.
He's still available.
Not really, but
in the Queens
and all this
baseball
stuff. And
fans.
J-Ram, real quick, because everybody's talking about the same thing. What J-Ram said in the podcast, that's something that happened before the season, not after. So
What
he
did
said
he
that
say in the
before the
podcast?
season. What he said in the podcast is that he felt that the team did not abide by what the agreement was.
Oh yeah, you're talking about in Abriendo el podcast. I think I see that.
Yeah,
I see
that was before the season started. So
Yeah,
people
yeah,
thinking
yeah.
this happened recently.
Yeah. People.
And
don't know what
honestly,
the hell
guys, for those that think that it's going to be a narrative, let's be real. Cleveland actually won the division, and they could have almost beaten Detroit in the thing. So that actually took a step up, even after they made sold and lost Class A. But that's another thing. But let's see. That's fantasy line. March's fantasy line. The one that has never been fantasy line is Schoolboy. I always felt like this. This is the reason. Not just because the Mets have the prospects, because we do now. Not just because we have the money, because we always had that. But because there's a CBA coming next year. I feel that he might be a little open to a trade and a contract extension because of the CBA that's coming next year and his potential lockout. And I felt that Detroit is not operating because apparently the son is taking over whoever the father was before, the fielder contract, the Miggy contract. That hasn't happened in a while. You had a little bit of Javi Baez. I'll give you a little bit of that, 24, 25 AAV, but nothing more than that. So I felt like the schoolboy thing. This is why I was rooting against any team that was playing against Detroit. So I was rooting for the Guardians. I was rooting for the Mariners. My Mariners. I was rooting for that so that we could have these schoolboy conversations. So, the reason I was trolling people on the Twitter lines because Queen's Base has been talking about that for a while. We have, because that wasn't like something you're not supposed to talk about. Schoolboy, that's not going to happen. No, you never know. So we have the ass. It's going to take a whole lot. Do I think that he's going to do it? No. That's the thing. I don't think he's going to do it, but do I think he's going to get traded? Possibly. So if you would ask me 2 days ago, there was no shot that I thought he was going to get traded. But now, who knows?
Right. Eddie says Scuba's cool as long as he gives us a window to extend him like Johan Santana did. And this is a conversation I've had with some people. And obviously, this is something that you would ask for. You would think. I mean, you would hope you would get this window.
Boris, bro.
Let me ask you this. You ask for this window, they give you the window. Because they're going to give you the window probably, right? They give you the window, but it's Boris. Like everybody says, it's Boris. Boris is not going to do it. They don't come to an agreement. You make the deal anyways? Or is that like a non-starter?
Yeah. No, make the deal anyway. Yeah, you make the deal anyway. Yes, you can't. There's a couple of names I won't add to that. I won't add Benj. I won't add.
I think I might exactly. But does that bring the price down?
It should.
That leads me to
it's going to be something ridiculous that you're going to be like, did we just do this? Guys, get ready for that shit.
No, you might. I don't give a damn.
Yeah, well, get ready for that. So,
but I mean, and I've been reading about it, and people have been talking about like this same type of move and how the returns have not been like everybody thinks, like these crazy returns. But we'll see what happens. You're right. That's probably going to be the reaction from most people. Is there any untouchable for Rube when it comes to prospects? Listen,
I said it.
Besides McLean.
Carson Bench, that's it.
Carson Bench is another untouchable for you. So if Carson Bench has to be in the trade, even if we get an extension with a Tyreek Schoolboy, you won't
then
make
I'll
the
do
trade?
it. That's different, though. Now you're talking about, so extension is not going to happen, guys, by the way. That is not going to happen. But if it does, then I'll trade Bench. Yep. Absolutely. So I guess he's not untouchable then.
Right. You're right. No, when I say untouchable, I don't mean in that specific scenario. I mean just in general. Obviously, and I'm not talking about trading top prospects for just anybody, man. Listen, I don't know about a Paul Skeens. I would be making that phone call as well. But let me tell you something right now. There's another name. There's another name that's come up. Before the Scuba stuff came out, I read a story in Spotrac, and I was like, shit. But anyways, whatever. Another name that's come up the last couple of days, and this, as a baseball fan, Rube, this makes me sick. That the fact that even a Tyreek Schoolboy, the fact that they talk about trading him when they had the year that they just had, and they've been building.
Freddie Peralta.
Bro, what the fuck, man?
This is the reason why Dodger fans
a $7 million option, Rube. They can't afford that. $8 million. They can't afford that.
This is why Dodger fans and the Dodger folks and the Dodger writers are trolling everybody because they're seeing what the Dodgers are doing, but then you have the team that they just beat.
Dude,
put them in one game, man. And they're trading the ace. And Peralta, I'll be down with. If the price is right, I'm not gonna give up a haul.
Yeah, I'm not a big we got to go get. But first of all, again, as a baseball fan, I'm like, what the hell are we doing? These guys are really talking about trading this dude when he's getting paid $8 million next year. You like what? That's disgusting to me. But you know what? If he's available, go get him. Yeah. And still, I want somebody better than him. You understand what I'm saying?
So Joe Ryan is one name. Obviously, Skeens would be like a dream, but
right, that's my dream. Queens baseball has their dreams with J Ram. That's my dream. How about that? That's my fantasy. Skeens.
So whatever like you're adding for Schoolboy, you got to times it by 2 with Skeens because Skeens has like it's ridiculous. So
I don't know if they fit in my Uber, but I drive it myself.
They won't do it. It'll be 1 through like 8. Like for Skeens, that's how much you have to add.
You're crazy.
Yeah. No,
your top 8 prospects. Are you like crazy?
At least 6 of your top 8 to get anywhere near the value that Skeens is, who has 4 more years of control.
Nah, let me make that phone call though.
Right now, you're saying no, but that's the truth.
No, I'm not saying that. I don't think that's what it would take.
It would.
I
would send you. I would send you. Maybe it's not 4, 6 out of the top. It's at least 4 of the top. Like 6.
Don't send me some trade machine crap, please.
It's even worse because the trade machine never values, right? It'll give you the value, right? But never
whatever
tells you what the GM wants. Because how about they want all these guys and you have to say take or leave it? I'll go to the next team.
Nah.
Look at the trades that's happened. Look what happened with Juan Soto, bro. That was ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? And it
But
happened.
again, like I feel I wish I had it here. I've been reading about these trades, and it's like, yo, like, but it was more about these pitchers that have been traded, and it's like, yo, people make a big deal about these returns, but they're not
For
as people.
schemes, you're talking about. This is the last thing I'll say before I go. For schemes, you're talking about McLean. You're talking about Tom. You're talking about Jet. You're talking about Benj. To even have a conversation, that's how valuable Skeens is. And he's not just one of the best or top 3 pitcher in baseball, top 2 maybe.
Listen, I
He's-
know, I know,
is the money that he's making. It's
I
just crap.
know. For whatever reason, lately, Mets fans has become a thing to get hype on prospects and his prospects. I don't give a damn about none of them dudes. Because at the end of the day, Rube, hold on. You jumped on this more than anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Hope is not a strategy.
Mm-hmm.
Prospects are nothing but hope. I know what Postskis
Okay.
is. I know what Tariq Scuba
Let me ask
is.
you a question.
I'll trade almost any of them mofos.
When was the last time the Mets had the best farm in baseball?
Listen, all that stuff, I get it, bro.
The
It's
80s,
important.
bro.
It's
I
important.
asked that question for you. It's the 80s. That's crazy.
Where's
It's been 40
the Dodgers farm system ranked?
They're still probably top 5, bro.
And they make moves, no?
They do.
How
But
many farmhands they have right now contributing big time?
Right. But
It's mostly free agents, right? Free
yes.
agents and
But they're
trades.
the Dodgers, though. They've won already. See, you could do that when you win.
But that's what the
I know.
process that they've
I know.
done.
And they made the trade for Mookie Betts, and they trust me. They. But the point is, though, that
That's another
we
trade that
just
people are like,
got there. The
what's that
Dodgers have
return?
been-
Everybody made a big deal.
the
But
Dodgers
what's
have
the
been
return
top
for that?
5 in farm the last 10 years. We just got there, my brother. So I do want to make trades. I just don't want to know. I don't know if I want to do 1 through 8 for schemes. I gotta go, Hector.
I wouldn't do 1 through 8 either, and I don't think that's what it would take. Yo, Rube, I appreciate you. Believe it or not, we hit everything, bro. We just hit everything, but it took
Next
a
time we
long
gotta do
time.
it under an hour 45 though.
Yeah, we'll try. But next time we won't have the first part of the conversation that people probably want to fast forward through where we talked about all
Which
of
we
this
should
stuff.
have never
But
had anyway. But yeah.
no, I disagree. See, we're gonna agree to disagree there.
Agree to
This is what
disagree,
Blood
my
Thoughts
brother.
about. See, like I said, because of that conversation, what did you say earlier?
I said
You
many
learn
things.
from me, and you hope I learn from you, right?
Yeah,
And what
absolutely.
did I say? Because of the conversation, send me Jay Fern's shit because I was looking for it. I can't find it, so I can follow his ass, right?
Well,
Because of this conversation, I'm gonna make it a point to go into to a Queens baseball space, even when I probably shouldn't, whether I'm driving, not driving, or whatever. I'm gonna make more of an effort because of that conversation. So you may think we shouldn't have had it. I welcome it. I don't
I'll
have a
send you
problem
the
with it, bro.
invite, bro.
No, ain't nothing personal, ain't nothing. It's just what it is. Blunt thoughts, man. Appreciate you, my brother.
Queens baseball, yo.
Can't wait to see you at the games.
Always support, man. But yo, Hector does this shit every week, so always support, man. And if you want to get some,
Hector does
get some-
spaces too. Like I said, Hector just doesn't try to do spaces when other people do spaces.
Yeah.
I found a nice groove in the pregame space. But
Exactly.
yeah,
I
get the
appreciate
fuck
you,
out of my
brother.
block, bro. Get out of my
Appreciate you,
block.
brother.
Nah,
Have a good night.
appreciate you too, man. Can't
Let's
wait
go
to see you
Mets,
next
yo.
season, bro. Let's go, Mets. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. I don't know how the hell that happened, Quays. How the hell do you do this, man, to me, man? Why do you do this to me, man? I told you about this, bro. Where the shit at, man? Come on. Anyways, that was not Quays. That was me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just talking shit. Listen, man, I know that went for a long time, a lot longer than I wanted to do it. A lot longer than I'm pretty sure a lot of you wanted to sit through it. But still, shout out to all you guys. Thank you to everybody that stuck around. Thank you to everybody that joined along the way. Special thank you to anybody that was here from beginning to end. Really appreciate you. I apologize that we couldn't get to as many comments as we would have liked to. I saw them. I got even some of them started and stuff like that. But just, short on time and very long-winded on both sides. But appreciate you guys. Hope everybody enjoyed it. And this is what Belong Thoughts is about, like I said. It's about having uncomfortable conversations sometimes. I'm not stealing that from nobody. Truth be told, I posted that before people said that, and that's not even original. That's not original. But I posted about uncomfortable conversations, and then that became a thing, right? Not saying that because I posted it, but somebody else did, and they tried to make it a thing. And shout out to them. But Blunt Thoughts is really about uncomfortable conversations, you know? And they may get heated sometimes. It may get uncomfortable. But at the end of the day, it's respect, right? As long as we respect each other, I always say, then that's the most important thing. We don't have to agree. I'm not here to try to control any narratives. I'm not here to make anybody think any certain way. I give you my opinions. And listen, Blunt Thought, truth be told, full honesty. Sometimes I need to be better about what I receive off of my opinions, right? Sometimes I need to be better at how I react about my opinions when somebody comes back at me. I recognize that. But it also depends how it comes and where it comes from, right? If I put out a video and I write something about the video and you react only to what I write and you want to have a debate, but you did not watch my video, so you don't know my full thoughts that I try to express, then don't waste my motherfucking time. Straight up. Because that happened recently. And I feel strongly about that. Other than that, I got love for everybody. I try to make time for everybody. I appreciate people that interact with me. I know I'm not someone that's comfortable to interact with. But again, this is what Blunt Thoughts is about. This is kind of what and not what. Not every SuperFan edition is going to go like that, ladies and gentlemen. So if I ask you to come on and be part of the SuperFan, don't be afraid. Like, damn, fucking Hector's going to kill me. No. And I don't feel like I killed Rube. But that was just a conversation that needed to happen. And it happened on Blunt Thoughts. But again, a lot longer than we needed to be. I'm not going to keep you much longer. Appreciate every single one of you. Don't forget, tomorrow night, Anthony McCarron, 9 p.m. Check this out, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you that are Blunt Thoughts fans, you guys know, anytime we've had Anthony on, it's been great conversation. And those tend to go long. Anthony to Hector, Monday night, 9 p.m. Let's try to keep it to an hour. So we're going to try to keep it to an hour, ladies and gentlemen. Hold me to it. It's your job to hold me to it to tomorrow night that we only do an hour with Anthony, man. But have a good night, everybody, man. Sunday fun day evening. Hopefully you guys have fun. I know I did, even if it doesn't look like sometimes. But we're always having fun. See you tomorrow, man. Have a good night. And as always, let's go Mets. Peace.
Full of animals and we made ourselves with minimal. Fuck you, no subliminals. Putting in this work, nigga. That's why they feelings hurt, nigga. Swear we need a hearse cause we rep our shites to the dirt, nigga. If I'm in the club, I'm